In this tutorial, we are going to discuss the class Mammalian, and it is going to be the last class that we are going to discuss under the phylum Chordata. So let's talk about the general characteristics of class Mammalian. What are the general characteristics of organisms that are under this class Mammalian? One, they give birth alive and they breastfeed their young ones with milk. That is the most important characteristics of the organisms that are found under this class mammalian. They give birth alive and they breastfeed their young ones with milk. Two, their bodies are covered with hairs or fur. As we are talking about aves, we say their bodies are covered with feather. But in here in the class mammalian, their bodies are covered with hairs or fur. Thirdly, they possess mammary glands. All of them, they have mammary glands that do produce the breast milk that they breastfeed their young ones with. The fourth one is that they have heterodont dentition. When we talk about hetero means different, dentition is talking about teeth. So in here, they have different types of teeth. Not like as we have in the homodont dentition, in which the teeth are of the same size and shape. But in heterodont dentition, the teeth are of different size and shape, and they have different functions. The fifth characteristic is that the chest cavity is separated from the abdominal cavity by what we call diaphragm. As we have it here in this diagram, this is the diaphragm here separating the chest cavity, this one up here, from the abdominal cavity, the cavity below it. Next on our slide here is that they possess external ear which we call pinny. This external ear that we have here that we call pinny, it is found only in mammals as well as the diaphragm that we have just talked about. As you can observe it here in this rat, this is the pinny here, this is the pinny here. Next one is that they are warm-blooded animals. That means they have constant body temperature irrespective of the changes that is occurring within the environment. Not like in other organisms, as the environmental temperature is changing, their body temperature changes as well. These animals, which are warm-blooded animals, they are called homeothermic animals. Next is that they possess sweat gland in their skin that do produce the sweat, which enables the cooling of the body. Example of sweat glands that we are having is sebaceous gland. Also, they have lungs for respiration. So what they use to respire is lungs. That means they respire through their lungs. And lastly, they are viviparous animals. That means they do deliver their youngs alive. They do not lay eggs. That is what we mean by viviparous animals. And even though that some of them, like the platypus, do lay eggs, but they do breastfeed their youngs as well. And that possession of the mammary gland that they have, which produces the breast milk, is a typical characteristic of the class mammalian. Example of organisms under this class mammalian, we have dog, we have man, we have cat, we have rat, etc. Now let's discuss about the class mammalian. What are the subclasses that we have under the class mammalian? we have the subclass Prototheria. Proto means before, meta means in between, and you means through. So the Prototheria, they give rise to the monotremes. These monotremes, they lay egg just like the previous classes that we have discussed before. But the most important thing is that these organisms, they do breastfeed their youngs. And we have the subclass Metatheria that give rise to marsupial. These marsupials, they give birth alive to their young one, but the young ones that they give birth alive to, they are immature. So what happen? The young one will stay in their mother's pouch until they are matured. And we have the eutheria. Eu means true, that means the true mammals. The eutheria, they give rise to the placenta. These placenta animals, they give birth to their young ones alive that is being matured. So there is a slight difference between marsupial and placenta. Marsupial, they give birth to an immature offspring, and this immature offspring develop in the mother's pouch until they matured before they are taken out of the pouch. But the placenta organisms, they give rise to a matured offspring. For them, they do not have a pouch. The offspring that they give rise to is already matured. So this is a diagram of a rat. You can pause and learn how to label it correctly. As you can see on this slide here, we have the external knee that they use for breathing, the eye for vision, this is the head, this is the thorax, this is the abdomen, this is the pelvis region. And on top of the head, we have the pinnae that they use to collect sound waves. That sound wave will be directed into the external auditory canal. And we have the tail that they use for balancing. And we have the legs that are being used for movement. We have the mouth that they can use for feeding or communication. And they have the vibrissae that they use for sensitivity.